Hello students and welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Shri Gyan Manjri Vidyapeeth for the students of Standard 10, in which we are learning the subject of English. Students, from the previous few lectures we have started with chapter number 11, which is actually a play, a drama. So let's take a quick recap of what we have learned in chapter number 11, that is of the main book, that is First Flight. Name of the chapter is The Proposal. Uh, the Proposal is written by a Russian playwright, a very famous Russian playwright by the name of Anton Chekhov. So basically, the whole of the play is cast during the time period which is quite early in the Russian era, when uh, rich farmers, very, very rich farmers, uh, where the quite a huge piece of land or quite a lot of wealth, property, etc., was passed on from generation to generation, right? And they had quite a huge property, quite a lot of wealth, and of course they were hardworking also farmers. Anywhere in the world, they will be very, very hardworking. But here we see two typical Russian farmers, quite rich, and we can say that come into a category of what we in British we say lord, when they are quite rich, wealthy. So they come in that category. But the mentality that is that the author is trying to show is uh, to marry a daughter to a very wealthy person, so that the daughter gets the share of the wealth, property, etc. So this mentality is very clearly and aptly shown in this play. Uh, Lomo and Chubuko, they are neighbors, and both of them, they occupy a substantial amount of land, quite huge, vast amount of land, and both are neighbors. But uh, Lumo is a young man of 35 years, and he has come to Chubuko's place to meet Chubuko to ask for his daughter's hand. The daughter is Natalia. So he comes to his house, but he has a little bit problem of anxiety, and in that anxiety he keeps on rotating and revolving around his own words, but he's not having that much courage to ask for the hand of the house house owner's daughter, that is Natalia. Now at last he is able to say that, and Chubukov is very happy, and actually he wanted, because now the daughter is just going to the neighbor's house if the marriage is arranged then, and both of the property, that is of Lomo and Chubukov, they are adjoined at many places. So Natalia is going to own a very big share of property, and whole of the property uh, can be quite adjusted, and Natalia can be a very rich woman because of the property she will get because of the marriage with Lomo. So Chubukov is very happy inside that yes, he didn't have to do anything. The person has himself come to ask for his daughter's hand, and then he goes inside and sends Natalia outside, and uh, both of them enter into quite an uh, what we can say quite a little talk over there. First of all, it's quite formal, and in between, Lumo says talks about one of a very small piece of land that belongs to him. He just blabbers out some things, and Natalia objected to that land under reference belonged to them and not to Lumbo, and they have a small fight over there, right, which turned into quite a big one, a heated argument between Lumbo and Natalia. And Lumo is not able to control himself, not able to control the uh, heart ache, the pain in the heart which starts, and whole of his body starts pulling on one side, and he's prepared to leave the house of Chubuko and see them in the court with the documents that he has. On the other side, Natalia is also very adamant that she believes that the land, the property belongs to them and not to Lobo, and she's also ready to fight in the court with them, with Lobo, right? To discuss about the ownership of the land in the court, and she doesn't mind that if a case is put up in the court, she has enough documents to prove that the land belongs to the Chubukos and not the Lomos. So they had a very heated argument over there, and Lomo is very ready to leave the house. Chubuko also comes in meanwhile, and he also listens to what is being discussed over there, and he also is ready to enter in a fight, legal fight with Lomo over that small disputed land, and that is where we have reached. So let us go ahead with the uh, story now. Lomo, here's my heart. Which way? Where's the door? So we just discussed that. Lomo is ready to go after that heated argument, and he wants to see them in the court for saying that that piece of land which belonged to him, they say it belongs to them. So he wants to go, but at the same time, his heart is aching. His heart is paining, and he wants to leave in a sudden because all of his body is pulling on one side, and he's not in a very good physical state. Which way? Where's the door? He's not even able to see clearly, and he just wanders here and there to find the door. Oh, I think I'm dying. My foot's quite numb. It yes, in the feet. One of the feet has gone to sleep. Right? It's feeling very numb, as if blood circulation has very much decreased over there. And goes to the door. Chubuko following him and yells at him, "Don't ever set your foot in my house again." Natalia says, "Take it to the court. We'll see you over there." And Lomo staggers out. Staggers means with lots of difficulty, he walks out of the house. Now, Chubuko and Natalia, father and daughter, they are both alone on the stage in that room. So now both of them are talking. They will take him. Now they're cursing him. And we will find lots of foul language over here. Yes, we cannot say bad language because this is included in the academic textbook, and we see lots of uh, not so good words used over here, but usually they are the words used by common person for cursing or saying something bad to other. So they will take him, that means let him die. Walk about in excitement. Natalia says, "What a rascal." He again, she is also abusing, right? So these are quite common words that are used over here. What a rascal! Who can trust? What trust can one have in one's neighbor after that? After all that, he comes over here in a three-piece suit. He's well dressed up, and uh, he just comes to a visit over here, and then he says that their land belongs to him and all that. So how can you trust? What trust can you put on a neighbor nowadays after all this? Chubuko says the villain, the scarecrow, right? Villain, you understand, is a bad person. Scarecrow is what we put up in the field to scare away the crows. Yes, usually it's a stick, two sticks actually. One is vertical, stuck in the ground, and another one is horizontal in a cross form. All right, and we and the stick is on some clothes. Yes, tattered, battered clothes, torn clothes, and we put usually uh, hay inside the sleeves and pants and all that to make it look like a human being, and put the matka on top, that is the pot. Yes, and draw a face over there so that it scares away the birds who come to eat the seeds or the fruits, that is the crop. So, scarecrow, that is Natalia, the monster. First, he takes our land, and then he has impudence to abuse us, right? First of all, he takes away our land. That land belongs to us. Yes, the land under dispute is just one small piece of land which is wedged between the two properties of these two people. So it's a very small piece of land, but then they fight over that issue. So this shows us the mentality of the people of those days. And after Lomo has gone away from the house, yes, now they are cursing him and yeah, giving names to him like rascal and villain and scarecrow and monster. They are calling names at him, and he has the impudence. Impudence means the boldness, yes, to tell us that he has already taken away our land, and this land is ours. This land belongs to the Chubukos. He has taken away that land, and then he has the impudence, boldness to come over here and spit it out. So, to abuse us, to insult us. Now Chibuko says, and that blind hand. Yes, again, a name is called blind hand. Yes, it's always wandering here and there because it's blind. Yes, that turnip ghost has confounded. Now turnip ghost. Now who is it? And now turnip grows under the ground. Yes, and it's radish, turnip. These are the favorite of the rabbits. So rabbits, you know, make a burrow in the hole, and they go inside that burrow and eat the turnip as from below. They don't come on the top, they eat it from below. So when you catch hold of the plant and you're ready to take your harvest, yes, the plant is on the top, but when you pull it out, whole of that thing is eaten away from the below. So that is the turnip ghost, right? Who eats away from inside. So yes, turnip ghost has confounded, that is, he has confused cheek to make proposal. Now he is a rabbit who hides and eats. Yes, it doesn't come out. It doesn't. We know rabbits. They are very, very frightful. Yes, even a small sound, and they prick their ears top, and they start scampering here and there. So it's like a rabbit. It's very frightened. A rabbit is never brave or courageous. And look at him. He's like a turnip ghost, a rabbit. Yes, and he has the heart, or he has the courage to come over here and ask for your hand. This is what shocks Natalia, because Natalia up till now didn't know that Lomo had come to propose, right? Because when Lomo came and Natalia entered, right, at that time they had that pleasant talk, pleasantry is exchanged, yes, nice good talk, and the talk turned into a heated argument over the land. Lomo didn't have time to, or Lomo didn't, he just spent time, he didn't find the opportunity and propose to Natalia. Instead of that, he took the whole of the talk somewhere else, and then it ended up in a very heated argument where both of them, all three of them shouting at each other, and at the end, Lomo had to exit from the house. So, Lomo never had a chance to say it clearly to Natalia, nor did Natalia ask properly why he had come to. And that is how Natalia up till now doesn't know that Lomo had purposefully come well dressed to their house, paid them a visit only to ask her hand for marriage. Now, Chubuko, he knows that, but he is telling it now. He should have told when he went inside to call Natalia and send her outside to talk with Lomo. At that time, he should have clearly said, the gentleman outside or the neighbor, the Lomo, right, he has come to our house to ask for your hand in marriage. He should have told this. Whole of the scenario might have been different quite now. All three might be happily sitting and sipping tea or drinks right over there in the hall. Rather than that, they had a fight and Lomo exited. And now Chubuko spits out the truth that he had the courage. You just look at this person. Yes, he is all that, and he has taken our land, and then he is coming over and he is shouting at us, right? All that is not good. And just look, he is not a courageous man, but look at his courage. He came over here to make a proposal. And so what? So a proposal. Natalia said, what proposal? Why? So Chubuko says, you people haven't talked about it. Why? He came over here to propose to you. He came over here to ask your hand in marriage. Natalia says, to propose to me. Why didn't you tell me before? Right? What you came and told me inside, you didn't say that. You said something else. Right? You didn't tell me why he had come to see me. So now Natalia is in a state of shock. That's such a good person. She actually liked Lomo, and she wanted to marry Lomo. But then the circumstances have now changed. Right? Chubuko says, so he dresses up in evening clothes, that stuffed sausage, the wizened face from now. Chubuko is so angry. The father is so angry. He's still calling out names, right? The first name is the stuffed sausage. The sausage that we have is in some plastic cover, right? That sausage. So he looks like that, plump sausage, stuffed sausage. A wizened face from the face wrinkled because of age, right? So he looks old. Yes, it looks as if he's just 35 years of age, no more. But then, because of, that is because of his physical condition at that time, that his face looked so wrinkled. Otherwise, he's quite young, right? 35 years of age. So he's still calling out names. Natalia says to propose to me, falls into an easy chair and wails, "Bring him back, bring him back, bring him here." Now, she fails to understand that the person next door, the neighbor, had come to propose Natalia. Natalia very much wanted the same thing, but now a mishap has occurred. Yes, because of her father's foolishness, when Lomo came and Chubuko had come inside to tell Natalia, he should have told Natalia at that very moment that the gentleman outside has come to propose to you, right? But now Natalia has lost the chance. So she slumps back into the chair and telling her father to go and bring him back. Chubuko is still not. Now Chubuko's turn to shock. After all this, you still want to call him back and you want to accept the proposal. So he says, "Bring him here. Quick, quick, I am ill, fetch him." Hysterics. Now she falls into hysterics. Hysterics, while the crazy act is called hysterics. Yes, I want him. Yes, you bring him now. I want to talk to him. That is what Natalia says. Chubuko, what's that? What's the matter with you? Clutches his head. "Oh, unhappy man that I am. I'll shoot myself, hang myself. We are done for her." Right? Now, I have got a crazy daughter. First, she's supposed to have gone outside and talked very good with the gentleman over there, the neighbor Lomo. She should have talked with uh, the gentleman in a very good manner and shown that she is a very good girl and should have done something to impress the young man, so that the young man uh, is encouraged to propose to her, and after a while, a little bit fumbling and all that, just act up, show to be put on, yes, and she would accept it, and the matter would be over. Now, everything sounds over here is crazy, because Natalia goes outside, talks sweet for a while, and then takes up a fight with Lomo, and then Lomo has already gone out of the house. Now that same daughter wants Lomo back into the house and asking her father to go and fetch him back. So Chubuko is now has gone mad that this is a very crazy daughter that I'm having here. Yes, it's quite difficult to be a father of such a big grown-up girl, yes, who is acting crazy and mad. Yes, I'm going to shoot myself, I'm going to hang myself. Yes, what's happening over here? I fail to understand all that. He just keeps on blabbering. "Natalia, I'm dying, fetch him." Now, it looks as if the condition of Natalia is going from bad to worse. She is in a very deep state of shock that she lost an opportunity. So Chubuko says, "Oh, at once, okay, don't yell, don't shout. Yes, I'm going out to bring him back." Natalia Stepanova wails, cries, "What have they done to me? Fetch him back, fetch him." A pause. Chubuko runs in. Now, by the time Natalia says, what has happened, all in a few seconds, what has happened? We both were shouting at each other. We were fighting. Opposite should have happened. Yes, we should have been very, very friendly, and we should have been happy that one has proposed and I have accepted the proposal and we are going to marry. That should have been a very happy occasion. But here something else happens. Here something totally opposite happens. She is in a very deep state of shock and she is yet to come out. By the time Chubuko goes outside, the father goes outside and again comes running back inside. He's coming here. So he has not called him, but he might have seen Lomo coming again towards back towards the house. So he says, okay, okay, he's again coming back and so on. They will take him. He's still very unhappy with Lomo for trying to say that the land belongs to their land belongs to him and all that. So he is very unhappy about that. But what can he do? Yes, he is a very helpless man. Yes, with a daughter who is just acting very crazy right now. So talk to him yourself. I don't want to talk to him. Yes, you, whatever you talking you want to do, you talk to him. Okay, fetch him, says Natalia. Chubukos yells, okay, he's coming, I tell you. What a burden, Lord. This is a very important sentence. To be father of a grown-up daughter. Then we just discussed it right now, right? These are the drawbacks of, or the ill effects of being the father of a grown-up daughter. Is who is not looks as if mentally not sound right now. Yes, one time she is very happy to see, to find that Lomo had come to propose her, and at the same time she is fighting with her father. Yes, why did you allow him to come inside? And then we had a fight, and now again sends the same father outside to go and fetch him back, and all that. So father says, I'm gone crazy, and it's very difficult to be the father of a grown-up daughter. I'll cut my throat, I will. Indeed, we cursed him, abused him, drove him out, and it's all you. So this is what the father is quite confused. What the grown-up daughter really wants is wants to marry Lomo, or not to marry at all and take him to the court. Yes, for that small piece of land. Natalia is totally confused, and that makes the father more confused. Yes, he is really angry, quite heated up because of the insults that were thrown at him by Lomo. So he says, I'm going to cut my throat and I'm going to die. And what we did, we cursed him. Yes, we abused him, insulted him, drove him out of the house. Yes, we insulted him so much, and then you want me again to go out and fetch him. Yes, so it's all because of you that the whole of the situation is messed up. Natalia says, no, it was you. So Chubokov says, no, it's not my fault. Lomov appears at the door. Now you talk to him yourself. So Lomov is again at the door of the house and he wants to come out. Lomov enters. He's completely exhausted. Yes, he is complaining about his physical condition. He says, my heart's palpitating. That means hurting, throbbing at a very fast rate, and it's quite hurting. My heart aches. Yes, awfully, and one of my foot has gone to sleep, has gone numb, as if there is no circulation. I can't feel my foot. That happens when we are seated at one place for a long time with, say, especially folded legs. Yes, we stay over there, keep on sitting for a while. Then one of the feet might go to sleep, as we don't feel it. Circulation, everything is normal, but we don't feel it, right? So that's what he's saying, because his one of his side pulls. So from inside, yes, the muscles keep on contracting. So he says, one of my foot has gone to sleep, and there's something that keeps pulling in one of my side. Natalia says, please, now it is Natalia's time to excuse her. Yes, she is sorry. Yes, she is very, very sorry for whatever she has done, the way she has behaved, and she really regrets it, and that she has to speak quite openly to Lomo, because right now what is to be done is to calm down Lomo, right? Because that is the main thing. Yes, Lomo's head right now is not in its correct position. That means correct state. He is in a state of madness. Yes, because his heart is beating very fast, and his heart is aching, plus one of the feet has gone numb. So he's physically and mentally right now quite disturbed. So it becomes the job of Natalia to first cool him down by at least saying that I'm very sorry, I shouldn't have done all this. So she starts with this, forgive, please forgive us, both of us, daughter and father both, Ivan Vasilovich. We are all very little witted, and it's not me and you only, all three of us. It was quite a heated argument that we had. I remember now. Now she tries to pull back on her words, right? Now she's pulling back her words, that she was the one to say Oxen Meadows were hers and not Lomo's. Now she says, okay, I remember. Yes, Oxen Meadows, they are yours, they are not ours. Because we see again that typical Russian mentality of those days is to have more and more property. Now, if Natalia says that Oxen Meadows are there, and Lomo says that Oxen Meadows are his, so after marriage, whether it belongs to Lomos or the Chubukos, it hardly makes any difference, because then when Natalia gets married to Lomo, all the property is going to be hers, right? So right now it doesn't matter whether that small piece of land belongs to him or her. So she says, in a very prudent manner, that I remember now, ox and meadows, they are yours, they are not mine. No, they are not ours. Lomo. Now, Lomo is not hearing those things because he is physically and mentally quite strained. So he says, my heart's beating awfully, my meadows, my so he is very confused person right now. He doesn't know what he is talking, what he is speaking, what are the words going out of his mouth. So he was talking about his heart, he was talking about his one leg which went numb, and one of the side pulling. He was talking, and in between, Natalia says about meadows. So that word also gets confused in what he is saying. My heart's beating awfully. In between, my meadows also come, and my eyebrows, they are twitching coming together because of the pulling that is coming from inside. So Lomo is still in a state of shock, and because he is suffering physically as well as mentally, and Natalia's job now is to cool him down somehow so that he says what he has come over here to say. That means to propose to Natalia. So Natalia is trying to calm him down and agrees that the meadows under question, they are yours and they're not mine. That is what Natalia says, so that at least Lomo calms down, because all the heated arguments, they started because Lomo said that the meadows belong to them. Now that is belong to him. Yes, and the argument started because Natalia opposed that the meadows did not belong to Lomos, but they belonged to Chubukos. So first thing is to assure him that that small piece of land belonged to him. It didn't belong to them, that is the Chubukos, right? So that much is settled, right? So that will give chance for Lomo to settle down, cool down quietly. And that is why Natalia says the meadows, of course, they are yours. Yes, they are yours. Now, please do sit down. So they sit. We were wrong. Yes, we were wrong in saying that the meadows belong to us. No, we were confused a little bit. The meadows, they belong to you. That small piece of land, it belongs to you. Lomo said, yes, that I did it on principle. Now, we are talking about principle. I am a man of principle, and I am talking about principles, right? That if the documents with me says that the land belongs to me, then I have said that and I am correct, right? I can go to the court also, and I can prove in the court also that the land belongs to me and not to you. So I did it on principle. My land is worth little to me. Yes, I have such a huge amount of land with me that a small piece of land, even if it goes to the court and suppose I lose over there and the land belongs to you, then that land is usually a very, very small piece of land and it's not worth that much money. So it's not about money that we are talking, but we are talking about principle. What belongs to you belongs to you. It cannot belong to nobody else, right? And nobody can say that something which belongs to me belongs to them. So we are talking about principle, it's not about money. But the principle is, Natalia says, yes, the principle, just so. Now let's talk something else, right? That is said by Natalia. Yes, she wants to change the topic from the land, from the dispute, from the arguments. Yes, come, sit down, sit quietly, calm down yourself and say what you have come to say. Propose to me so that I can say yes. So she says, let's talk about something else. The more so I have evidence. Now Lomo is not able to take away his mind from that dispute, and he still carries on with the dispute that I'm talking about principles. According to the principles, according to the principle, the document belongs to me, the land belongs to me, right? And I have evidence of that. I have documents to prove that I have the land. That land, I am the owner of that land. Yes, and again he starts with that grandmother's, grandfather's stuff and all that. My aunt's grandmother gave the land to your father's grandfather peasants. Natalia is already aware of that story, so she says, okay, yes, 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 it all happened during that olden days, and now it's over. I have agreed that the land is not ours. There was a mistake somewhere. Okay, I accept my mistake, and we mistakenly, not only me, my father also, he shouted on you, saying that that land was theirs and not Lombo's. Yes, we agree and we accept our mistake, we accept our error. So just let it go. Let it pass means just drop the issue aside. Wish I knew how to get him started, right? Aside, yes, let that pass, and loudly says, I knew, I wish I knew how to stop him from blabbering all these things and saying all these nonsense. Yes, which of course is out of question, and come to the point. How can I? That is the meaning. How to get him started means how can I get him come to the point? Point is how to make him propose to me. So, are you going to shoot? And a very good word is over here. Are you going to start shooting soon? Start shooting soon means ask the original question that you have come to ask. Yes, you came to our house well dressed in a three-piece suit as if you are going to a ball or a party, and then you come over here and start fighting with us. Okay, all that agreed. It was your mistake, our mistake, whomsoever mistake it was, but now start shooting, start saying the actual thing. You came here to propose, so do that. Lomo, I'm thinking of having to a go at the black cock, a bird, honored Natalia Stepanova after the harvest. So now Lomo's condition, God knows, is going from bad to worse. He has sat down. Yes, he is trying to calm down in his mind, but his mind is still agitated very much. Yes, and it wavers here and there. He's not able to come to point. So he says, after the harvest is done, we know the peas, uh, that harvest is going on. Yes, the crop is already ripe and they have taken the harvest. So after the harvest is over, I am thinking of going for bird shooting, right? And just for leisure, right? Usually after the harvest is over, the farmers all over the world, they are free after the harvest and they celebrate in their own way. So what I'm going to do, I'm thinking of having a go at the black cock, that is a bird, after, honored Natalia Stepanova after the harvest. Oh, have you heard? Just think what a misfortune I had. My dog, guess is the name of the dog. My guess. That is my dog, guess, who you know has gone lame. Now, because his mind is wavering so much that he is not able to come to the point that is proposed to Natalia. So first he says, blabbers about that land and he has evidence and he can prove it in the court and all that. Then he says, after the harvest I'm going to go for a bird shooting and all that. Then again he remembers something about his dog. So he says that my dog, guess, he has gone lame. Lame means not able to walk properly with one leg, right? One of the leg, right? So a dog walks on four, so one of the leg might have got hurt and he is not able to walk properly because he is laming. Natalia says, what a pity. Now you have to continue in order to make that agitated mind cool or calm down. You got to allow all the heat to come out. So whatever is in his mind, once it comes out, again he will come to point. So Natalia just carries on. She doesn't wish, but then she carries on. She says, okay, now what a pity. Why? What happened? I don't know. Must have got his leg twisted or bitten by some other dog. He is my very best dog, to say nothing of the expense. I gave Mironov 125 rubles for him. Right? So now his attention is gone from the land and away from Natalia and towards first the uh, bird hunting, and then now it goes towards his dog. Guess now, quite possible that he loves his dog very much and that idea has come. So he wants to tell everything about his dog. He's very much proud of his possession, right? So he says that something must have gone wrong. He is now laming. Yes, he's not able to walk properly. So Natalia says, what happened? So he says, might be a dog might have bitten him or something like that. He has gone lame. He was a very good dog, a very good hunting dog, right? Hunting dogs are used for killing, for hunting rabbits, mare, rabbits and small birds, etc. So it's very useful in hunting because the dog can smell very good, and it can uh, it can take the hunter towards the prey. So I give Mironov 125 rubles for him. So Natalia is quite surprised. Natalia says it was too much. Yes, the dog guess. I have seen your dog, right? It's not that much worth that you should pay 125 rubles for it. So it was a little bit too much. Ivan Vasilevich Lomov says, I think it was very cheap. I think my dog is so good, but then I got it very cheap. 125 rubles is nothing for me. Here we see him exaggerating about his wealth. At the same time, he is hurt by the uh, uh, by what Natalia says, because Natalia guesses the actual worth of the dog quite less. She says that 125 is too much, whereas Lomo is the owner of the dog. He knows his dog very well, and he says that 125 is nothing for that dog. I think I got it very cheap. Natalia says Papa gave 85 rubles for his Squeezer. Squeezer is the name of the dog. And Squeezer is heaps better than Guess. Now again we see they have come to a point where the discussion will go away and they will again be away from the actual point of proposal. Now they are discussing about dog, and my dog is better than yours. Now that is going to happen because Natalia thinks that Lomo's dog is not worth 125 rubles, whereas Lomo thinks that his dog, Guess, is very much prized and quite a good dog, and for that dog, such a dog, 125 rubles is nothing. But then Natalia says that for that, their dog, Squeezer, Papa paid only 85 rubles, and even in 85 rubles, Squeezer is far better than Guess. So now it's going to be upon the ego. Now ego is hurt, right? Lomo's ego is again hurt that his dog is underestimated. Lomo says, Squeezer better than Guess. What an idea. And laughs, has a very good hearty laugh that Squeezer is better than better than Guess. Actually, Guess is better because he's my dog. I know he's better than Squeezer. So now there will be a fight on the dog. Humans, Lomo, Natalia, and perhaps Chibuko also will join the fight, and now they will be fighting over dogs like dogs, right? So now they are going to fight over the issue of the dog. Now Natalia says Natalia, their dog Squeezer is far better than the dog of Lomo. Now, how? Squeezer is young and there is still hope that he might develop a bit, but according to the points goes on pedigree. Yes, pedigree means pure blood. Yes, so he is far better than anything even Volkanatskaya has got. So he is far better. As far as breed is concerned, he is pure blood, and that gives him more points. And even when he was just bought at 85 rubles, then also he is far better than Lomo's dog, which was bought at 125 rubles. Lomo says, excuse me, Natalia Stepanova, but you forget that he is overshot. Overshot means upper jaw is longer than the lower jaw. Upper jaw is longer than the lower jaw. That means the tongue does not get enough space to fold inside, and that is why the tongue is always drooling outside. Yes, so an overshot always means that the dog is a bad hunter, because the dog always has to keep its tongue outside, and that affects his smelling sense. Now and then the dog has to roll on his tongue inside and shut its mouth so that the sense gets better. But because nose and mouth both are open, so he loses his sense of sensing, and that is why he is not a good hunter. Overshot, easy. The first time I hear, Natalia says, never in my life I heard that my dog is overshot. Lomo says, I assure you that his lower jaw is shorter than the upper, right? And it is always that the upper should be in at par, right? So that the lower jaw, which carries the tongue, it has enough space, more space to roll the tongue in. Natalia says, have you measured? If you are saying so much sure that he is a overshot, that means have you ever measured his lower jaw? Yes, he's all right at following, of course, but if you want to get hold of anything, that means it has another lacuna or drawback that as far as you keep a dog, okay, you can take him out for walking, running, you can also take him out for hunting, but when you want to hold on to something, for example, a rabbit, etc., the dog catches a rabbit or a fox, right? Then it has to catch hold on it, and catching hold can only happen when the upper jaw and lower jaw has the same length. Yes, otherwise what happens is the uh, clawing or the gripping of the skin of rabbit, etc., it becomes quite tardy because the lower jaw is shorter and the grip won't be firm. In the first place, now Natalia explains, our squeezer is a thoroughbred. Yes, thoroughbred, that means it is pure blood. Yes, uh, 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 when the dog is a thoroughbred, that means it has bitter qualities, the son of harness and chisels, while there is nothing, no getting at the pedigree of your dog at all. At least I know the parents of uh, the dog, and both of them, they are highly purebred. But if I'm talking about your dog, it doesn't have any blood at all. Yes, it doesn't have a good lineage and it doesn't have a good breed. He's old as ugly as a worn out cab horse. No, cab horse. Cab horse is जो हम घोड़ा गाड़ी बोलते टांगा, right? The whole of the life, the horses on the harnessed on the cab, yes, and it will have because of the refuse that it has, right? It will become very weary, it will become weak. Yes, it will look older than it is because it is constantly harnessed with carriage and not properly taken care of, right? Cab drivers, they don't earn that much that they can take care of the animal that much. So that is how your dog looks. He is old, he looks older than he actually is, and it doesn't have any pedigree, it doesn't have a pure blood. Lomo says he's old, but I wouldn't take 5 squeezers for him. Yes, I won't be selling my dog, right? Because he's worth more than 5 of the dogs that you have. Why? How can you? Guess is a dog, and so as for a squeezer, well, it's too funny to argue. He is not a hunter at all. He is not a good dog at all, and because of his overshot, and okay, my dog is old, but then he's still the dog, and he is a better one. Anybody you like has a dog as good as Squeezer. You may find them under every bush almost. 25 rubles would be a handsome price. So now he is underrating. What Lomo is doing is underrating the dog of Natalia and says you paid 85, but you will get under every bush. That means it's easily available. Under the bush means you'll get it everywhere, right? So it's isn't cheap. What you get in quite a lot of number and everywhere, then that thing is going to be cheap, and at most I will give just $25 pounds for sorry 25 rubles for that dog. I won't pay 85. There is some demon contradiction in you today, Ivan Vasilevich. First you pretend that meadows are yours. Now Natalia cools down and says something is very wrong with you today. Yes, first thing is you come to our house well dressed, and then you start fighting with us, telling that our land belongs to you, and now you again try to shame us, or again you try to abuse us and insult us that our dog is worthless and all that. So now it so happens that in Western countries, everywhere and anywhere, a pet is always considered a member of the family, and you don't insult a member of the family. Whole of the family gets hurt, right? And now you say that Gus is better. That means your dog is better than Squeezer. That is my dog. I don't like people who don't say what they mean, because you know perfectly well that Squeezer is 100 times better than your Gus. What do you say? He isn't. Yes, I know my dog is much far more better than your dog. Yes, and what do you have to say about it? Natalia Stepanova, that you consider me either blind or fool, you must realize that squeezer is overshot. Now, that is said by